Hi guys, welcome back. This is video 4 from chapter 3 with Professor Ren. In our last video, we went over the non-price determinants of demand, and we're going now over the non-price determinants of supply. Well, there are 7 of them. In your booklet or in any book or even in the outlines that I left for you, you're going to find that there are 6. They're really 7, but because taxes and subsidies are combined under one, it gets stuck in our heads as there's 6, but you need to account for 7 of them. This is the best outcome for you, keeping track of what you are doing. Now, these are non-price determinants. It means that they are variables number 3, right? That's what that means. So because they are variables number 3, that means they are not the price, because the price is variable number 1, and it's called non-price determinant because, again, it's saying I am not the price. Please remember that. So the 7 are right here. None of them say price. The first one is the number of sellers. Just remember, if the change is unfavorable, there's going to be a leftward shift in the supply curve. And notice that it says here decrease in supply. It doesn't say quantity supplied. No, because this is a shift in the curve. If it is favorable, if any of these are favorable, they will actually shift the supply curve to the right. And if you look at what that means, you're looking at the range. Look at the range of supply curve 3. Look at where it begins in quantity and where it ends in quantity. This range right here is definitely shorter than if you were to go for S2 from the beginning. It's higher quantity, and the end is higher quantity. The whole range has shifted to the right here because there has been more provided to the market in total due to one of these or multiple of these various non-price determinants impacting this business positively. Now, these curves can one be higher than the other, one lower than the other. It does not really matter. They are being influenced by the variables number 3 that are in here. The first one is number of sellers. More sellers means you're providing more of the product because you have greater outlets. Think of how much easier it is today, for instance, for Tesla to reach its end consumers. In the beginning, people didn't know what it was very much. The closest place to go check out one of these cars could be hours, sometimes days away. For instance, in Copley Square, there's a location. It's inside the mall. It's literally one room that has 2 Tesla cars. One is complete and one is like gutted, so you can get to see it in layers a little bit. That's about it, really. The idea is for them to make it where you can order online, but you can preview in maybe virtually. They're trying to make it as much as possible where you can access this car more easily. The more of it that they can make available, the more of the Tesla car there's going to actually be. Technology. Technology is humongous. I am sure you're incorporating it in your own work. I am sure you have people complain at work about maybe there isn't enough of it. Technology is supposed to help a business do more, faster, cheaper. That's the deal. Well, if you can do more and you can do it faster and cheaper, you clearly have more units to provide. Technology lowers the costs. If the individual unit is cheaper, the per unit cost is cheaper, then you can produce more of them. If you can cut your costs down by 50%, you can double the number of units that you can actually provide on the market. The opposite is true. If technology, for instance, dissipates and it's no longer available to you, maybe, for instance, there's been a natural disaster, or maybe your technology breaks down and nobody can repair it. Maybe it's just not being repaired for the next 2 months while you wait for a part. And now in the meantime, there's been a kibosh on the operation, and therefore you can't produce as many units. You can't provide as many. That is technology getting in the way and causing a reduction because there's less technology, less availability in the units that are being provided or made. 3 is resource prices. Resource prices, remember words, slow down and ask yourself, what is it really saying? And in English, it's flipping those. Resource prices, the price of resources, right? How much are you paying for your inputs? So when we talk about supply, we're talking about the output, right? This is inputs. Inputs are your raw materials, your supplies, your electricity, your rent, your mortgage, your insurance. You get the point. Well, if those resource prices, some of them or all of them, go up, each unit is going to cost you more as a seller. You can no longer provide the same number of units. The same number of units is impossible, therefore you have to shrink the number of units. In this case, there is a leftward shift. But what if you're getting the opposite happen, right? You're a builder and the price of lumber is dropping, the price of labor is dropping, the maybe price of other raw materials like cement is dropping. Well, that can allow you to provide more houses. That's going to increase the supply to the right. Because in this case, each unit is actually cheaper for you to produce. With the same investment that you have, you can produce more units or provide more units. Remember, all of that is related to the law of supply. 4 and 5 are often combined under like one heading, subsidies and taxes, which is why I put the and there. But really, they are each a separate point, so let's separate them. Subsidies. Subsidies is the amount of money, like a grant, money that is invigorated. Now, sometimes it's a cash injection into a business. Sometimes it's a ridiculously low interest rate. Sometimes no interest. Sometimes deferred payments on the loan for 5 years or 10 years. All of those things invigorate a business financially. And when you do that for a business, then that business is able now to take that investment and produce more with it, which is why the government subsidizes up and coming, cutting edge kind of technology that has to do with global warming, or it has to do with anything that makes our lives simpler, more convenient, cheaper, better, healthier. At least in an ideal world, this is what they're trying to do. If they take away a subsidy that was already in place, this is clearly going to be unfavorable. It's going to shrink supply and move it to the left. Taxes. Taxes are like carrots or sticks. You lower the tax for a business, ceteris paribus, it means you are leaving more money in the pockets of that business. That boosts their margin, the revenue margin. When they have more revenues to work with, they can produce more units. That would be favorable. So lower taxes would translate to more supply shifting to the right. But if you raise taxes on businesses, again, ceteris paribus, there are times when raising taxes is highly appropriate. So I don't want you to confuse that and say never raise taxes on businesses. And I don't want to get into all the statistics about that. I just want to say, ceteris paribus, all other things held constant. If taxes are going to rise on a business, then that business may very well have less revenue to produce with and therefore produce less, provide less, and that's a leftward shift. Future price expectations. Remember, this is not a price change. This is an anticipation of a price change. Now, from the seller's perspective, it's a little bit different than the buyer's perspective. You want the higher prices as a seller. So when you think prices are going to be higher later, you withhold your supply right now. You actually provide less right now in order to sell more at a later date when the prices are rising. So right now you think, let me produce something else. You know, very simply in New England, and you guys live in New England, so you can absolutely understand that. In winter, what's going to increase in price is going to be the snow blowers, right? So if you are Home Depot and it's summertime and you're thinking, I don't need to be providing snow blowers right now. They have a future price expectation that is higher in winter. I'm now going to push the stuff that people are looking for that actually has a higher price than later, which would be the lawnmowers. Because when you look at the lawnmower and you're projecting the future price for lawnmowers in the summer, you're projecting that in the winter the lawnmowers are going to fall in price. So future price expectations for lawnmowers are lower. In summer, you push the lawnmower then because that's the one that has the higher price right now. In winter, it's all reversed. In winter, you want to provide the snowblower because that's the one that has a lower future price, which means right now it has a higher price. And right now is all that really matters. Future price expectations going up, the seller shrinks the supply. Future price expectations going down, the seller increases the supply. All this is in your outline. Remember, it's all written down. It's all explained for you as well over there. 7 is the one that students miss the most, is the one that they cannot remember or they don't know how it applies. Prices of other products / services the firm offers. We are saying you are a company that produces more than one product. Like you could be Toyota, you produce cars, and you also produce a motorcycle. How do you decide how many cars and how many motorcycles? Well, look, if the prices of the motorcycles are rising, it may occur to Toyota to take some of those resources away from a particular car that they make or several cars that they make, shrink them in number so they can use that revenue that they have towards producing more motorcycles. So the price of motorcycle is rising, ceteris paribus, this company might switch away, deduct resources from certain kind of car that they have and put it into producing more motorcycles. The reverse is true. If the motorcycles are losing, like the price for them is dropping, now often it can mean buyers are not quite as interested, or it's the wrong time of year, or something isn't driving there. Then this company will take resources away from the motorcycle because it has a falling price and give it back to the cars that they actually might think will be more profitable for them because that price is not dropping. So in recap, when the price of the other good that you are producing, which is why it says firm's offer, drops, you push up, you increase the supply of the other product that you have at hand, so product X. But when the other one, product Y, is actually rising in price, then that's going to shrink the supply for product X. I hope this helps you, and remember you have all this in your notes as well. We're going to stop the video right here for now, and we're going to resume in the next one with the market analysis. And that is the last thing we have left in the chapter. I'm sure you're thinking, is this chapter ever going to end? It will end in the next video.